There were challenges kind of in getting it funded as quickly as a bank would have with COVID and everything going on. So that was kind of what there. And ultimately, like, we built it successfully. We've sold almost all the units. We're still holding a couple. So, based on how those end up doing, we'll see how we ended up overall on the deal. But it definitely wasn't a home run like we were expecting.
Right. If you're in the middle of construction when COVID hit, what did that look like? How did that feel for you? Was it still a successful project?
So the first one, we ended up basically breaking even. Like, we made like 2 or 3 percentage points on that one. So, it was as successful as you could probably hope for a first project that, got hit by COVID.
Right.
The second one was, we definitely went really big, and then COVID hit, and that one was filled with challenges because with it being a larger project, we had to go with a private, a private lender rather than a bank. So there were challenges kind of in getting it funded as quickly as a bank would have with COVID and everything going on. So that was kind of what there. And ultimately, like, we built it successfully. We've sold almost all the units. We're still holding a couple. So, based on how those end up doing, we'll see how we ended up overall on the deal. But it definitely wasn't a home run like we were expecting it.
Right. So you had your capital coming from, I think, was it your dad's? Who was it?
My uncle, yeah.
Your uncle, brother. Yeah, your dad's brother. You had your capital coming from there. You partnered with him. Was that the team, the Dorado team, or did you have other partners in it?
So the initial project, that was like basically we were the active partners, my dad's brother-in-law and myself, and then we had like some minor limited partner investors, but the majority of the capital was from him, and then he just brought in some supplemental just to fill the gap. And then we had Capital Bank was our first lending partner there. Okay. And we still work with them on a lot of deals, so they've been great. And we found a contractor there, which was JAP Construction, and they ended up being so we ended up doing the 32 unit in JV with them, so they were the other partner in that one. Which helped defray some of, like, if they weren't partners in that, I'm sure COVID would have been even more impactful.
Do you still, is that the same construction team that you work with in-house
in
today?
DC? That is the same construction team we work with, and it's really just, that's more of a typical, like, they're a separate contracting shop as well, like they do work for others, and like we JV on deals more, but in here in Richmond, we have in-house construction through a different arm.
How did you set that up? And what was your decision to bring that in-house?
We had initially done that model in DC kind of with the JV, and it made sense. Like, getting your basis down is always important. So we were like, okay, how can we make this even better? And then, in Richmond, so when COVID hit, like, initially the capital markets kind of fully shut down. So I was just like looking at things on my own. So I saw lots in like downtown Richmond for like 15, 20 grand. I was like, well, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer. Let me just buy these in cash. And then see, like, if I have to sit on them, I have to sit on them. But then, quickly it became that people wanted single-family homes, like in COVID, a lot. So we started building on those lots, and then we found a smaller contracting shop initially through there, and the first thing I noticed was that, like, this was the first house I'd ever built where I never needed to do a punch list. I walked in the day it was supposed to be C of O, and like, the drywall was pristine. Like, he had already done all that before I walked in, and I was like, okay, well, this seems like a good partner for me to have long term. So we did a few more houses with him, and then we like talked to him about, okay, let's do like a kind of at cost arrangement where you'll share in the back end of the profit. So that's how it initially started, and then since then I've acquired a stake in that contracting firm as well. So now everything's more streamlined.
That's awesome. That's a good way to do it. So you started with it just being a third-party relationship. Yeah. They did so well that you essentially were convinced to like try to buy into that company, and were able to. Yeah. And then now you can partner on development deals with them essentially as a partner. So you have construction in-house now.
Yep.
And so your interest and values are all aligned on these projects.
Yep.